What's up, guys? So for today's next Pure Talk, we're talking about my Spider-Man 4 final review of the game that we just played about a few weeks ago, maybe last week. I'm not quite sure. So the way we're going to be talking about this, we're going to go over the story, gameplay. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to also talk about the characters, and then obviously my overall opinion. So for starters, we're going to talk about how great the gameplay was. The gameplay was smooth, it was nice, it was amazing. They made it feel like it was a Spider-Man game, and that's what they were going for, and that's what they did. I think they nailed it on that. They did a fantastic job. I said this in my my first impressions review. I said the same exact thing. It feels great. The gameplay, you know, the story mode and all that, it definitely feels like a TV drama series. I don't want to talk about spoilers. I was thinking about it, but I'm not going to talk about spoilers. You're going to have to play this game, and you're going to have to get into that TV drama series. Everything that happens in this, about to say movie, everything that happens in this game makes it feel like you're playing a Spider-Man game. You know what I'm saying? The combat, when you're fighting people, it feels amazing. You feel like you're actually Spider-Man. Spider-Man is this huge, not this huge character, but is this character who has a lot of endurance, very acrobatic. So you see him jumping over enemies, swinging through things, doing those crazy combos. He's got his what do you call it? He got his John, a mind blank right now. Wow, his Spidey sense, and you use that to dodge, and it feels great. The swinging is also super smooth. Never in a Spider-Man game, I think, have I ever felt like swinging in this game is amazing. Like it feels like you're Spider-Man. I've said it so many times, I know, but the swinging is amazing. It is awesome. I love the things you can do to it. Not only can you just, you know, swing, obviously. Not only thing you can just swing, but you jump in the air, you swing, and then you let go of the button, and then you can do this kind of zip lining thing where it pulls you forward, and you can do that twice. With if you have a certain upgrade, you can do that twice. But then going back into it, getting off, zipping twice. You do that, when you do the zipping stuff, that's really fun. It makes you go a lot faster. You feel like Spider-Man, as I've always said before. It feels like Spider-Man. It really does. Also, another thing, when you're swinging around, you push, I think it's LT and RT as well. You do that, and it latches you onto the closest thing, such as like a rooftop, and you can do that, and then right before you land, you push X, and you jump off of that. It just feels good. There's nothing much I can really talk about. It feels like you're Spider-Man. The whole running, you can run up the walls. You can obviously do the climbing. The climbing definitely is a little bit off. I mean, it always felt a little weird. Not gonna lie, that is one downside, unfortunately. But everything else is fantastic. The graphics are amazing, except for the parts where you try to go off of the map. When you're off in the map, such as, for an example, like you go on to one of those side boats and you see people, they have like blockheads. You know, it's like Minecraft blockheads, like I said also in my first impressions review. You've also got a lot of hidden Easter eggs. I was watching the video and I didn't realize actually how many Easter eggs was in this. Like, seriously. Remember when you played Spider-Man 2 and you did that pizza mission? Apparently when you go to near another pizza area, it plays that theme song that they played when you first did those pizza missions on Spider-Man 2, which I think was out for GameCube? I'm not sure, I forgot, but it plays that, right? And also, apparently, when you're climbing on walls, you can see a reflection of the Twin Towers, right? But then you actually turn around and you don't see it. Like, that's literally in the game. It's amazing. Another thing is Stan Lee's in this game, man. Stan Lee, I cannot get over that. Like, the first hour, first 2 hours, you're obviously, you know, you're sitting in a booth with MJ and you're playing as Peter Parker, and then it kind of feels like a Marvel movie at that point. He was like, I love you two, man. You guys were such a great couple. Like, how you see him all the Marvel movies, he's all like got his special little catchphrase that he says, and he pulls it off just as well in this game as he does in the movies. It's amazing. A few other Easter eggs you got, obviously, is stuff like you've got Stark Tower. Stark Tower's there, right? You've got the place where Doctor Strange hides, obviously. And like I said, the pizza place. Another awesome, cool feature that I liked in the game is that as you were going by like the you're going by, swinging through areas, you would see pictures of like JJ Jameson kind of just doing his own little thing. He's wearing like a little baby bib. I laughed at that. That's hilarious. I love the graffiti on there. And the music in the game definitely feels like it's Spider-Man. Like literally, I mean, the music is fantastic. It's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. And once again, I'll say it. I love it. I always thought that music in a game or any movie is really important because it sets the tone of how the movie's going or how the game's going. You know, obviously, if it's like a depressing moment, you don't want to have happy music playing. I mean, come on, that would really ruin the whole experience of why, the reason, like why, you know what I'm saying? It's really important. It's really important. So now we're going to talk about the characters. Obviously, first off, we're going to talk about Peter Parker / Spider-Man, right? So we're going to talk about Spider-Man's part first. In this game, Spider-Man actually loses a few times. He loses a few times. Most of the time when you're playing a Spider-Man game, he doesn't lose. That's just that. When you're going up against like these new characters, not new characters, obviously these are characters that we all know. You know, I'm not going to talk about them right now. I'll talk about them later. But he goes up against all 6 at the same time and he loses. He gets stabbed, man. That's about as far as I'm going. He loses more than once. More than once. The Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he's been at it for a few years. He knows what's going on, but I don't think he's ever apparently gone against 6 of his worst enemies he could possibly ever go up against. Obviously, he beats them. It's really amazing how they do it. I love it. And I love his development, his whole, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? I think I have it in here. Development. Yeah, his character development. I really think I just said that. Wow. So yeah, his character development definitely improves. He sees always that at the first, you know, when he first became Spider-Man, obviously, this is the reason why, you know, things happen between him and MJ, is that he was always putting the things on himself. He always basically put the team on his back. He can't do that here. He cannot do that here. He's going up against 6 of his worst enemies. And he can't do that here. And you see that in here. Eventually, you know, they make a team and all that. And they team up and they go at him. But it's really amazing. This one scene, obviously, I'm going to talk about this. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler warning. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but it's a little bit of a spoiler warning. But we also saw it in the trailer as well. There's this one scene where basically all hell is breaking loose at this prison. It is insane. All the inmates are escaping, not only the inmates, but obviously the people that Spider-Man has put into this prison. And they all come out, and then they all go up against him. And this, just fighting them all, watching it all, it felt amazing. I was worried for Spider-Man. And yes, he did lose that battle, obviously. He didn't die, but he lost badly, right? Unlike Batman, the Batman Arkham series, he doesn't like rip up his clothes or anything like that. You don't see like him constantly losing another piece of his clothing. Like he's got like a rip in his shirt. Obviously that happened in the beginning, but you know, that's actually a skin that you can wear. You don't see like rips in his mask. You don't see rips in his legs or his arms or any other place like that. So that's that. And then you got Peter Parker. Peter Parker is obviously trying to find balance, as always, as Spider-Man, because you know every superhero has to go through this. They have to find the balance between the hero they're being and, you know, obviously their daily lives, because both intertwine and they are both very important. Peter has to find a way to do this. He's trying to obviously help Dr. Otto Octavius. This is the plot. So what's happening? He's trying to help Dr. Otto Octavius do something amazing that the world has not done yet, right? And he wants to do that, but he also has to help fight crime as well. Fortunately, later on down the line, things happen and such, right? Next we're going to talk about is MJ. This MJ is most definitely portrayed differently than what you see mostly in any other movie or any other game, right? Normally you got to go and rescue MJ. You got to do all this. You got to do all that. In this one, she's not like that at all, man. The moment we got the taser in our hands, playing as MJ was one of the greatest things I have ever done. There's literally clips, there is a clip, I should say, of me tasering somebody so much that I'm coughing my eyes out. Like, it's ridiculous. I had a lot of fun with the taser. Leading up to that point, it wasn't fun playing as MJ, but when we finally got the taser in our hands, I was having fun, and that was also kind of towards the end of the game, and we were seeing so much stuff unravel in the game. So that was awesome to see that. Obviously, MJ, Peter Parker, have some chemistry going on. At first, at the beginning of the story, we don't know what's going on. We have no idea. All that we know is that they're separated, and towards the end, yeah, okay, so. Next we're talking about is Miles Morales. This boy has got me interested so much. I cannot wait to see what else there is more in store for him, right? So a little bit of background of how he came to be as to where he is towards the end of the game, right? So his dad is a police officer, right? And what ends up happening is that his dad ends up dying, and he ends up meeting Spider-Man, and Spider-Man teaches him the ropes, not really on the whole swinging, but you know, how to do basic self-defense, right? And then later on in the TV, not the see where we go again, in the TV show, and the movie, in the game, he obviously, you know, something happens to him, and then we're gonna be able to see hopefully what happens in the next game. I'm really interested. I didn't know much about Miles Morales except of this game. I know that he is portrayed as Spider-Man in another universe. I'm not sure if it's the comics, I'm not sure if it's a TV show or something like that, but I'm definitely excited to see more about what's gonna happen with him. I really am. And next we're gonna talk about is Dr. Otto Octavius. Dr. Otto Octavius is definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man villains for sure. At first, I felt so bad for this guy. I felt so bad because he was trying so hard to, not only was he sick, because he was, in a sense, he was slowly deteriorating, I should say. Slowly deteriorating, and the project that he was working on was going to help him slow that process down, right? And eventually, obviously, he got consumed, and he loses his mind, and he gets all mad. And then this is when the, what do you call it? They called it the magnificent significant six, the mighty six. It's the something six, I forgot. Right, you got Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion, Electro, Mr. Negative, and then Dr. Otto Octavius leading it. This was really, really awesome. Normally in video games, when you have multiple enemies, like multiple villains, multiple like super villains coming at you, it just gets all freaking nuts and crazy, and it's all just packed in there, and it's like all jumbled and all messy, and it's not fun. It's not fun. But here they did a really good job. Dr. Otto Octavius is using Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion, Mr. Negative, and Electro because they all have something they want. And in a sense, Dr. Otto Octavius is saying, here's what I got for you. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to help you if you help me, basically, in a sense. Lastly, J.J. Jameson. Now, he's not really much in this. He's more of, like, I guess you could say, like, almost a comedy relief. Kind of, not really, but almost. You have him on the radio as you're swinging through. Every time you beat a mission, or every time you beat like a crime, every time you beat some kind of base or something like that, you have J.J. Jameson in the back talking about, oh, how Spider-Man thought it up, and he created this mess just so he could fix it up, and just so, you know, he's being J.J. Jameson. I love it. There's no Spider-Man without J.J. Jameson. You gotta have him in there, and that's how I feel about that. So overall, I would honestly give this game a 10 out of 10. Yeah, hands down one of my favorite Spider-Man games I've ever played in a very long time. I mean, the last game I played was Web of Shadows, and I enjoyed that game, but this game completely beats the crap out of that game. You know, you've got the combat and the swinging. I really think that's what hits it home, and then you also have the Easter eggs. The Easter eggs are amazing, you know, so the gameplay is great. Developers wanted to make you feel like Spider-Man, and they did just that. The scenes are amazing. Feels like you're also watching a Spider-Man movie. It really did. I'm not gonna lie. So character development is there. You feel the characters, and you want them to win. You care about everything that happens in the game. Everything in the game. And let me tell you something. Towards the end, you definitely get the feels. So if you guys enjoyed that, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. You guys can always find me Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/PureLycian. Thank you guys. Make sure you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you later. Pure out.